Hello, Cancer, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of this connection. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. Looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle, really looking at what is the purpose of this connection and what is the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, which we'll jump into in just a second. But I do have a different tarot deck that we'll be using for each side of this connection. In addition, I've added to my readings an overall theme of the reading, which we'll jump into as well. And then I have an advice card that I'll be pulling at the very end in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, these energies can absolutely be swapped. So if you resonate more with the energy to my right than to my left, just know that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and resonates for you and leave what doesn't. All right, Cancer, on your side of this connection, you have death. With it still hurts. So we are dealing with a connection here that has ended. Now, I do feel like I tend to draw on past connections quite a bit when I do these readings, because it is my intention to pull for the connection, like I said, that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. So oftentimes that doesn't have to be the connection that we're like actively dealing with. It could actually be something from our past that it's affecting our present. And I feel like specifically with this connection, whatever one this is, it's one that has ended, or I feel like, yeah, I feel like it's one that currently isn't together, but it still is hurting. Like you're still feeling pain and frustration because of this connection. Even if some of you might want to move on, some of you might just be having a hard time moving on, and some of you might not want to move on, might want it back. But either way, the ending from this connection has been a pretty painful experience, even like now, like no matter how far back this has ended. Now, on their side of this connection, there are other priorities with the Seven of Cups. So this person, um, I feel like they don't know what they want here. I feel like they are very overwhelmed, very confused, and very unsure of what it is that they want and ultimately are capable of. And so I feel like because of that, they haven't prioritized and didn't prioritize this connection, and ultimately, Cancer, the way that you deserve. And I feel like that can ultimately be painful, right? When someone makes us feel replaceable or like an option, or doesn't prioritize this, it can really affect how we view ourselves. And I feel like that has a lot to do with why things are so painful for you on your side. Now, in between this connection, you both have someone has unmet needs with the Six of Cups. I feel, Cancer, as if it's kind of a pattern for you in a way to feel as if your needs are not being met within your connections. Specifically, this one really brought that up for you. And again, I feel like that's what's contributing to things being so painful. Now, the overall theme of the reading is transmute. And I really like this because this transmute card is about taking something negative and turning it into something positive. And so the pain from this connection, I feel like, is helping you transmute, or whatever you're going through in this connection is helping you transmute this pain into something positive, even if you don't know what that positive is yet. So we'll see when we dive in, but let's start, Cancer, with your side of this connection. This Cancer side of this connection to the person they are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. This is Cancer side of this connection, please. Cancer side of this connection, please. All right, this is for Cancer side of this connection. So you could be dealing with an earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. However, you definitely don't have to be, because I also am kind of reading this card as like the circumstances of this connection. Like basically how your life has changed because of this connection. Because I feel like this person and their energy towards you in this connection, it's pushed you very far out of your comfort zone. And I feel like that is contributing to a lot of the kind of negative emotion that's associated, because I don't feel like this connection is anything like you've experienced before. Or yeah, no, that I'm going to stand by that. I feel like it's one that has made you feel very different than other connections. Like it had a lot of really good feelings associated with it, and those, positive feelings have an equal amount of negative feelings too. And so I feel like as good as this connection was, or is, but I feel like it hurts just as bad as the positive associated. So, which makes sense. The intensity of the connection can affect all aspects of it. This is Cancer side of the connection to the person they are dealing with, please. This is for Cancer side of this connection. So Seven of Swords in reverse with the King of Swords in reverse. Okay. I feel like some things came to light about this person. Could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You don't have to be. I just like reading the cards as they come out. It feels like some things came to light about this person, maybe some level of dishonesty, or just kind of some red flags, or some not so great treatment towards you. And I feel like this kind of came out, but with the Two of Cups, it's like you still kind of stood by them and loved them anyway. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. We should always love everybody all of the time. But I feel like there's more to this Two of Cups, because what I want to make sure is that you are not loving this person more than you were loving yourself here. Because I do feel like it kind of feels like certain aspects of this person were revealed to you and you kind of ignored them. Ignoring red flags kind of energy, which we've all done. We have all been there. Cancer side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. This is for Cancer side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. See, I also feel like this is referring to the end of some sort of cycle too. I feel like the hardest part of this is the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. It feels like you really put everything out there. Like you really invested with a level of vulnerability that maybe you haven't ever really done before. It kind of feels like maybe you took a chance on this person, you put a lot of faith in them, you put a lot of trust in this connection, and obviously things didn't really pan out the way that you were hoping. But I do feel like, that can always be the hardest thing, is when we feel like we gave someone everything we have. We put we put ourselves out there, just kind of like naked and revealed, just, here I am. And then when that isn't accepted, or that person doesn't, return kind of that same level of vulnerability, it can affect you. And it can affect you in terms of, like I kind of mentioned at the beginning, like how you see yourself and your worth and your value. And it's important to remember that, if first and foremost, rejection is divine redirection. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you were rejected here. I just feel like there was this level of things not working out the way that you planned, expected, hoped for. And I actually feel like that's for the best in a deeper way, which I feel like we'll see just because of this transmute card. But kind of backing up to what I was saying about this message is I feel like, you invested in this with everything that you had and it still didn't pan out the way that you expected. And that can make you go, well, if I gave this everything I had and it still didn't work out, then what's the point? Because if everything that I am isn't good enough, um, then I'm never going to have the love that I deserve. When in reality, it's not that it wasn't good enough. It's that this particular person couldn't meet you where you were at. And I feel like that's kind of what we'll see when we dive into their side here. Because the people that are supposed to be in our life will love you for all that you are. Flaws, cringiness, and all. Cancer side of this connection, please. Cancer side of this connection, please. Cancer side of this connection. I want it to turn all the way over, hit the table. So let me do a reshuffle. This is for Cancer side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Cancer side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Cancer side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Yeah, so you're feeling a pretty deep sense of loss here. And I feel like you're having a hard time knowing what to do, how to move forward. You're definitely super in your feels about this. I feel like this connection has made you a little bit more emotional than other connections in the past have. And I feel like there's a reason for that. And I think that we'll get more insight into that again as we keep pulling, when we get to pulling for them. But I just feel like this loss, because it's obvious that you still feel this, but it might not necessarily feel like you've lost this person. It could be for some of you. It could be like, oh, well, I really miss specifically that person. But I also feel like maybe you feel like you lost your opportunity for love, or you lost several years of your life because of how much you put into this. Or, I mean, it could be maybe if you're going through a divorce, you lost money because of it. It's like there is still this sense of loss associated with this connection. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be like feeling the loss of this person. It could be, though. It absolutely could be. I kind of just feel like you got your world turned upside down here a little bit. This is for Cancer side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Cancer side of this connection, please. This is for Cancer side of this connection, please. Yeah, because you're frustrated. I feel like you're frustrated that things never fell into place, that the pieces never fell together. Temperance in reverse with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And I feel like the fact that things never came together in this connection in the way that you were hoping, even if like you were together with them for a long time, like things never came together. The pieces never fell into place in this connection in the way that you were hoping. And I feel like that has you guessing in a way, like whether or not you're going to get the love it is that you deserve. But I feel like this has more to do with this person than it does you. I mean, especially if this is affecting kind of your sense of worth. But that's what the Magician in reverse, it's like you're doubting now that the love that you deserve and desire is ever going to manifest because of this connection. Cancer side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Last one for Cancer side of this connection. This might not be for all of you, but some of you are wanting reconciliation here. But there's a little bit of a warning message associated with that. With the Empress in reverse and the Eight of Wands in reverse, just kind of this like, make sure that this isn't a repeat of you sacrificing your needs and your desires for the sake of the connection, because I feel like that's kind of what happened here. It's like certain things were revealed about this person that weren't great, and the treatment towards you kind of maybe started to shift a little bit, going from like a positive to a negative, and I feel like you looked past it. I feel like you kind of ignored those things because of your love for this person and the connection itself. But what that ended up being was a sacrifice of your needs and your love for yourself for the sake of the connection. And so there's a little bit more to this than you might realize. Let's see. This person's energy toward Cancer, there are other priorities with the Seven of Cups, because this person, I don't love this energy towards you, but let's see. This person's energy toward Cancer. This person's energy toward Cancer, please. So this person, I mean, they're running from this connection. There's no doubt about that. And I feel like they're running toward a devil. They're running away from this connection toward a devil here. Ooh, and spicy. I want to know what this devil is. I'm getting a little nosy. I want to know what this devil is. They're running away from this connection toward a devil. That can be an addiction, a codependency, something that isn't good for them. Clarifying this devil. It, not good for them. That's, I mean, the Nine of Cups in reverse. Something that affects them in a negative way. So I feel like we'll just have to keep going. But they're running away from love and toward a devil. It could be, again, like addiction, codependency, unhealthy attachment to someone or something. This person's energy toward Cancer. This person's energy toward Cancer, please. Okay, we have the devil. Which is why they don't. So devil, Six of Wands, and then there's the Seven of Cups. They're prioritizing this devil. I don't know what this is, though. I feel like it's going to be different for everyone. I want more on this freaking devil, though. And I feel like this devil gives them a sense of hope, but it certainly doesn't add to their peace. And this devil is separate from the connection. So, something to get them through, something to get them by, something to distract themselves. So they're running towards distractions. Which makes sense, because I do feel like this connection, if it pushes you out of your comfort zone, it's going to do the same to them. And I feel like, when you're dealing with a connection that kind of pushes you to grow and you're not at a point in your life where you're ready to grow, or you think that you should have to grow, which I feel like is this person, then you're going to run from it because it's going to make you feel very uncomfortable, which is a good thing. because getting uncomfortable is how you grow. It's how you get better. It's what we're here to do. But I feel like this devil is almost a sense of comfort for them. And so there's this connection makes them feel uncomfortable in a good way. But since they're not at a place where they're prioritizing growth and love and like the good things, I feel like that's why they're prioritizing this devil, because it's easier. It's easier for them. This person's energy toward Cancer. This person's energy toward Cancer, please. See, but they're not, okay. The Ace of Wands with the Judgment in reverse, it kind of feels like they're not really being like honest with themselves about the actions that they're taking. I kind of feel like this person's like flailing a little bit. Like their decisions, they're not being thought through. They're kind of just like, doing whatever they can to get away from those uncomfortable feelings. But this is like, not like, sometimes it can be looking through things through the lens of rose-colored glasses, which could be kind of what they're doing, like only seeing, like almost like only seeing things through the lens of the short term. They're not thinking long term here. They're thinking very short term, how their actions are going to impact them today, not how their actions are going to impact them tomorrow. But if you don't think about how your actions are going to impact you tomorrow, then you're probably sabotaging. If you're only focused on feeling good today, or like distracting yourself today, that will obviously impact you tomorrow. This person's energy toward Cancer. Yeah. There's the sabotage card, the Knight of Wands in reverse. So they are self-sabotaging here. And this is a cycle for them. And with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it always seems to bite them in the booty. The booty. In the booty. I just tried to say butt and booty at the same time and it came out boot. But it just feels like they never learn. Which is why I feel like it's so vitally important, Cancer, that you do not take their actions personally. Because you giving this everything that you had, because you have the Knight of Wands upright, they have it in reverse, you giving this everything they had and them meeting you with self-sabotage, that has nothing to do with you. That does not mean that you are not good enough for this person. That does not mean that you are not capable of the love that you are looking for from them. It means that this person isn't in a place right now to grow in a way that healthy, reciprocal, sustainable connections require. And so, for lack of a better way of saying it, they're not ready for you. And yeah, that still hurts because you can feel this sense of loss and everything associated with that, but that's why I feel like you have this transmute card, is taking into account, trying to, and this isn't an easy thing to do because you're a human being having human experiences, but trying to put aside your emotions and seeing things through the lens of truth and saying, you know what, I gave this everything I had. I put, 100% of myself into this. It didn't work. That person wasn't ready. And what that means is the universe is telling me that this wasn't meant for me. Not that the love that I desire isn't possible, but that I'm not going to be able to find it through this person in terms of where they're at in their journey right now. I feel like there's a lot of good that can come from this person's energy toward Cancer, please. This person's energy toward Cancer, please. This person's energy toward Cancer, please. Yeah, see, they don't, with the Queen of Swords in reverse, again, there's that air sign energy, but they don't actually have their heart open to love. You can't love someone into being open to that love. If someone's not ready to accept the love that you have to provide, then that's not on you. That's on them. And I feel like that's kind of what came out like early on here is maybe you saw this person's tendency towards self-sabotage, you saw them kind of start to run from this connection, and you tried to love them through it. You tried to love them into loving themselves so that they could love you in the way that you deserve, because people can only meet you where they've met themselves today. People can only love you, care for you, and prioritize you to the extent that they are doing all of those things for themselves. And they're clearly not. They're prioritizing this devil. They're prioritizing things that aren't good for them. And that's their path, their journey, their lesson. That has nothing to do with you and what it is that you are capable of having when it comes to love. Taking other people's self-sabotage personally is the worst thing that we can do, because we can look at it as if their self-sabotage means that they don't value us enough. Their self-sabotage means that they don't value them enough. And us trying to chase somebody who has a tendency to self-sabotage is the mirror of us not loving ourselves enough. And so try to look at it through that lens of, what is this trying to teach me? What is this pain trying to show me? What can I transmute this into? If I feel hurt because of abandonment, how can I transmute this into a powerful form of self-love that can assure that this kind of feeling never happens again? Or if I am hurt by the constant treatment of this person, how can I transmute that again into making sure I never ignore red flags again? And it all kind of seems to come back to self-love, especially when we're dealing with connections. And I feel like there's bigger picture lessons that the universe is trying to bring to you through the form of the pain that still exists when you think about or are dealing with this connection. One more for this person's energy toward Cancer. One more for this person's energy toward Cancer, please. I don't know why it flips that upside down. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. See, this to me is a message that karma's gonna handle this person. Because you can't prioritize the devil and not deal with the consequence of that. It will always come back to bite you. But the thing is, I feel like there's this need here to kind of separate your journey from theirs, because I feel as if you've taken on their journey as your own personal journey, and everything that they do or don't do is directly affecting how you feel about yourself. when these journeys are very separate. This person's movements, choices, decisions, actions, inactions have nothing to do with you and everything to do with where they're at on their journey. Them not being ready for you and what you have to offer and what you bring to the table is not a reflection of who you are or what you deserve. It does not mean that you are too much. It does not mean that you need to change anything about yourself. What it means is that you need to make sure that you are not looking for love and acceptance and respect and being prioritized in somebody who literally is not even doing any of those things for themselves. Because that's what this person is dealing with. They're not a bad person. They are struggling, hurting, surviving. And unfortunately, and I'm not making excuses for them, but empathy is always a really good thing to have, right? And their struggle, their fight, their survival, unfortunately, has directly affected you. And no, that isn't fair, right? That is not fair. I will be the first to say that. But it does not mean that you can't still have what it is that you desire in love. It just means that there's this need to separate the journey. Instead of focusing so much on what this person is doing and what they're worrying about and prioritizing, focus on what are you prioritizing? Are you prioritizing this person, or are you prioritizing you and your healing and your journey and your love for yourself? Because that right there will get you further than prioritizing anybody's journey ahead of your own. Because when we take on other people's journeys as our own, we are trying to fix, heal, and love ourselves through that person. And that will always come back to bite us in the, what did I call it? The booty, the boot. All right. Actually, I'm going to do this one. Okay. In between this connection, you have someone has unmet needs with the Six of Cups. I'm going to hop on over to the extended, looking at what is the purpose of this connection and what is the best way for you to move forward in a way that aligns further with your higher self. I'm going to pull 9 different messages, and I have an advice card to pull at the end. Thank you so much, Cancer, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Cancer, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Cancer.